Welcome to episode 19 of the Hong Kong Trail Walkers podcast. We're going to have a different sort of a show this week for you. So what we're going to do, I've got a fellow co-host with me, a guy that I interviewed some time back in the same location, about a couple of weeks back. Let me just welcome him, first of all. Yeah, hey, welcome back, Martin Dokes.
Thanks, Vince. I still need to practice my name a little bit more, but yeah, go ahead.
Martijn, same.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is this, right? The racing season is going to begin in Hong Kong, and we were thinking, before each of the major races in Hong Kong, we're going to do a show together. And then we're going to talk about the race, the course, who the favorites are, and so forth, so the listeners can be aware of what's going on in the Hong Kong running scene. Is that cool, Martin?
Yeah, exactly. That was. I thought it was a good idea.
Okay, excellent. So first of all, we have something called the Hong Kong Trail Racing League in Hong Kong, right? So why don't you start off telling us about the HKTRL? What is it about, and what is so special about it?
Yeah, the HKTRL is the initiative of a couple of runners in Hong Kong, especially Richard Scottford. The initial idea was that through the league, it will be able to support runners financially. I thought that was a little bit too complicated at first, and now it's mostly aimed at having fun, maybe get some sponsors involved, and hopefully longer term we can professionalize trail running in Hong Kong a little bit, and it would help some people maybe to become professionals. But at the moment it's just fun teams, fun people getting together and trying to earn points during the season.
And it gets kind of competitive as well, and I noticed quite a few teams. Lantau Basecamp is going to announce its team in next week, over the weekend, is that right?
I think we need to announce it before the weekend, because the first race, what we're going to talk about, is going to be this weekend. So we've been talking to a few people. We're focusing on fun, and hopefully then there's also going to be some good runners. And I think we've got one really good runner.
Who's that?
I think he's sitting across from me.
Yeah, so Martin paid me a suitcase full of cash to be a...
It's supposed to be an amateur league, Vince.
All right, so let's start talking about the race for this weekend, right? So it's actually called the Great Relay.
Yeah, it's an almost new concept. It was actually run earlier this year already in January, but now it's moved to this month, September, and it's also moved from a different location. It was originally in the area of Tai Po, and now it's going to be on Hong Kong Island. So I think the initial feedback was maybe that it was a little bit too isolated location originally to be a real fun race where a lot of people would come to watch. So that's why it moved to Hong Kong Island. And what I understand also, the concept is being exported to different cities. So I think we've seen a great relay in Singapore, and I've heard some rumors about maybe Taipei or other places. So yeah, it's an interesting concept.
And let's talk about that concept a little bit. Yeah, so as I understand it, I'm actually going to be participating in the race this Saturday, right? So as I understand it, right, you've got two versions of the race, the 100-kilometer race and the 50-kilometer version, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and in the 100 one, for instance, the one that I'm taking part in, you've got a team of, 4 people?
I think you're in a team of 4, yes,
team of
Vince.
4, right? So essentially each person runs 5K, and you keep going around until you reach the 100-kilometer mark.
It's not so much you keep going around, it's the team keeps going around.
The team keeps going around.
You can only do one round per person, as far as I understand. So one person will do 5K, and then the next person will do 5K, and in that sense you keep going around until you reach the 100K, yeah.
So there's a lot of sitting around and waiting time as well then. So
yeah, so that's going to be interesting, I think. Have you ever done anything like that?
Never. It's going to be my first ever race where I'd run 5K, then I've got some time to recover,
Yeah, exactly, because I know you've done a relay before, which was the LT70 relay.
I did the LT70 relay.
But that's a different concept, really, is it?
Very different. You run 70 kilometers, split over, I think 20 kilometer sessions or something, You run 20 at a stretch, then you pass the what do you call it, the torch?
Baton.
The baton. French word again, I don't like French words. Yeah, so on to the next guy, and the guy runs another 20k. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's one effort and then you're done. And this is different because you do 5K and then you're not done yet. You have to wait for your next round. Yeah. Imagine, you're going to be in a team of 4, so you have to wait for 3 people. Let's say they do 5K in It's not that easy course, so maybe 30 minutes. So you're waiting for 1.5 hours, and then you run another 5K.
Okay, so we're gonna have to talk about strategies, as far as that goes. Because I'm thinking in those 1.5 hours, if I eat too much, or if I chill, or if I relax, or if I go around,
You better leave the beer alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the person who's organizing, or the company that's organizing the race. Yeah, RaceBase.
Yeah.
So who are the guys, Martijn?
Well, RaceBase is a new kid on the block. They just announced themselves, I think, last month. Originally, the concept and implementation was done by Vlad Exel, a well-known ultra runner, and I'm not sure exactly how it went, but somehow RaceBase got involved, which is a team of 4. I believe you know better.
Yeah, so I actually exchanged emails with Stephen Carr. We had him on the show a couple of weeks back. So Steve tells me, right. So essentially, they wanted to have some sort of an event in Hong Kong, not exactly a race. So in an average race, essentially you pay your entrance fee, then you get a T-shirt, you run, and it's over, right? But RaceBase, what they wanted to create was a concept of events. So you actually have fun the whole day, the people who are supporting you, everyone that's running with you. So it started off as an idea that Stephen had, and Nick and Stephen got talking, then Jerry got involved, and then Michael got involved as well.
Michael Ormeston.
That's the guy,
He just ran an incredible
UTMB, less than 30 hours or something, right?
Yeah. Top 100 and yeah.
Yeah, so they got together, started RaceBase, and fantastic website, and there you go, the first race on Saturday. So congratulations to the team at RaceBase, especially to Stephen Carr for coming up. He's got a day job as well. I wonder how he does so many things.
I have no idea how he does it.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the course a little bit. Yes, tell us about the course. So Hong Kong's Aberdeen Country Park, tell us more.
Yeah, if you know Aberdeen Country Park a little bit, it's kind of has 3 levels. So the top level would be where Wan Chai Gap is, more or less. And then you've got a middle level where the reservoir, the main reservoir is, the first reservoir. And then you got a lower level where the lower reservoir is. So it starts at the lower level. So you start off at the lower level, you run up a road. Now it's more a path, but it is concrete, I think, or footpath type of thing. And then after probably around the first K, you go up steps, and then you go to a higher level to the Hong Kong Trail. The Hong Kong Trail is a dirt trail. So there you will be on the dirt trail for quite a while, winding around the reservoir, like the higher reservoir, and you come back down on the other side of the reservoir, and you go down another series of steps, and then you'll be back at your starting point.
So we're talking steps, concrete, trail, steps, concrete.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Okay, yeah. So I heard there's...
It's a nice technical... It has a really nice technical part, which is Hong Kong Trail, which most of us know because we run there quite often. There's a lot of races there. But obviously, you're in Hong Kong, so you still have some concrete and you still have some steps as well.
So it's pretty much runnable, and we're looking at an average of 20 to 30 minutes per loop, per 5 kilometer loop.
I think there's some steps in there that not everyone can run, but I think a lot of the Hong Kong Trail is definitely runnable, and coming down is always runnable, yeah.
I heard there is a pipe in between as well, a metallic pipe that someone's going to watch out for. I think my teammate Nia was telling us about it. There's some sort of a pipe, you want to make sure you don't trip.
There is a pipe when you've crossed the road, you're on the Hong Kong Trail, then you cross the road, and then you do a little bit more Hong Kong Trail, and then you get into... There's a crossing there, and there's a pipe above your head, basically, yeah. So there is a pipe, but, you're on the trail, so keep your eyes open all times, everywhere.
Right, okay, good advice. Yeah, watch out for the pipe. Okay, so what should be the strategy for someone who wants to ace the race?
Well, it depends a bit what you run for. If your team... the team at the race is in a winning position, obviously you go as fast as you can. But you have to think about, okay, how many rounds do you have to run? How many rounds will you run?
So, I mean, my other teammate, Paul Ridley, so he was telling me that you got to do, apparently it's a little bit more than, you got to do, one runner might have to do 5 laps instead of 4 because there's some extra distance or something of that sort.
But you're a team of 4.
We're a team of 4, but the one runner might have to do more than 1 lap. Because you don't exactly
in order
reach...
to make up the 100k?
Something of that sort, yeah.
You're well prepared. That's great.
Yeah.
I would think if you have 4 runners, then each of them have to do 25k.
Yeah.
It would make sense. But I wasn't aware that it wasn't exactly 100k. So if that's the case, then there might be one runner who has to do a little bit more.
Yeah. So I got to, unless he was bluffing me, I got to check. Yeah. So we exchanged some WhatsApps.
You
this
said Paul
morning.
Ridley. I know the answer. Okay.
Okay. So the strategy. So you want to run as fast as you can, and then in the 1.5 hours when you're recovering and waiting for other teammates to finish running, what should you do?
Cool down.
Cool down how?
Because you will get hot, and if you just sit around in the sun, you'll still be hot, and then you start your run again, and you'll be hot. So you want to cool down. Maybe use some water, or you use some ice, or sit in the shade. Make sure you drink enough. Have some food early on, so that it's not in your stomach anymore when you start running. And then keep going again.
So what can you have? I mean, you can drink water, yeah, but you shouldn't be eating anything too solid. I mean, too.
Well, if you have 1.5 hour, you can eat a little bit of solid stuff, but not a full meal. No.
And hopefully the atmosphere will be good. Yeah, 1.5 hours of sitting around talking to people.
It's going to be 1.5 hour with other runners.
Hope we have more interesting guys than you, right? So
yeah, I won't be there. Don't worry.
You won't be there. Yeah, okay.
Actually, it's a course where I always walk my dog, so I know the course well, and I might be there with my dog, and it might just cross the path when you pass, but don't worry about it.
Oh, so tell us, how should we go about pacing then? What should be our pacing strategy?
To be honest, I don't have experience with this format, but I would think you have to go as fast as you can.
Just run as fast as you can. It's only 5k, and you don't even have to carry water, right? You're just gonna have to drink water at the end.
It's gonna be about a half hour, so no, you don't need to carry water. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Who are the teams that are participating? Any favorite? Do you have any favorites at all?
Well, I've looked a little bit. The 100k is the part that's part of the Hong Kong Trail Racing League. So it's only relevant, that race is only relevant for the Trail Racing League. So in that race, we've got one team of 2. So I guess as long as they finish, they win the race.
Who are they, do you know?
No, sorry, I don't have the details here. But if you want to check out, you can always go to racematics.com, an excellent website by our friend Romain.
It's Romain.
Romain
Risch.
Okay, Romain Risch. Racematics.com has the entry list, so you can see exactly who's racing. You can see your own bib number if you're racing, and you can, once the race is finished, you can actually go back and see all your results and see how you did against the others.
What about the team of 4s?
The team of 4, I think for the men, the favorites are the Speedy Gonzalez. That's what I've quickly picked up. I know my OTW teammate Sean Haggerty is there. He's a fast guy on the short distance. And then there's David Wu. He's also a very fast guy on there. He almost, or maybe he actually won the King of the Hill half last season. So I think that's a very fast team. And then we've got 13 teams of mixed teams like yourself. And there's some quite good names around. I saw Thomas Robertshaw. He's a pretty good team. He's a pretty good racer. Although I only know him as a really long distance guy. I know he did a 100 miler last year, and so I'm not sure how he does on the 5k. Then we've got this guy called Vincent Terry, of course.
Who's
part
that?
of Team Green, with Paul Ridley. And who else?
So it's me, Paul, Nia Cooper.
Uh-huh.
And Brendan. Brendan Lee.
I see.
The Kiwi guy, yeah.
So you have a little bit of a connection to one of the organizers. Is that going to be...
I don't think it is, yeah.
Okay. Just kidding. And of course there's Darren Benson. I haven't seen Darren Benson run for quite a while. I haven't seen his results in any races.
Yeah,
maybe
he's making a comeback.
Maybe he's making a comeback. Well, he's on one of the teams, obviously very, very fast. And then there's John Ellis, John the guy who runs everything.
John, the guy who runs everything and who has a 0 DNF record, which I find very, very, very admirable.
He was close on UTMB.
He was close on UTMB.
but he kept going.
He persisted. That's John.
Yeah,
He personifies persistence.
exactly.
All right. So who are you rooting for then, Martin? Who's your favorite?
Well, my favorite is actually in the team of 6.
Tell us about it.
Because there's also a category of team of 6. And there are 4 teams for the man. And I think teamberrytime.com will have a very good chance because they've got some really, really fast people on the team. They only have to do either 3 or 4 rounds, depends. And then we've got Sam Fletcher and Jens Floor. They are always doing really, really well in the King of the Hill halves and other shorter distance. I've been a teammate of Jens, and he always pushes me around and makes me run really, really fast because he's really fast. So I think they're the favorites for the team of 6, but to be honest, I don't know exactly all the other names, so it's hard to say. This type of race, it's not being done very often. The people involved are, a team might be a half of very good people, a half of not that good people, so it's hard to say on forehand, okay, they are definitely the favorites, unless you've got a couple of people in there that you think, wow, they're blowing everything away.
Right, I was thinking, right, we should probably have like a bookie, illegal bookie thing going for the runners as well. You wanna lead that?
No, thank you. Will be interesting, but no, I don't think so.
Okay, so if someone wants to... Sorry, go ahead.
Obviously, we still have the 50k.
Yep.
But it's not part of the trail racing league, so we won't go into too much depth. But I just noticed one interesting name in the 50k, and that's Jeremy Ritchie. I think it's his first race back on Hong Kong ground. It's great to see
Jeremy and Valerie back in Hong Kong.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think we did miss him last year. We used to see him on top of the list, and now suddenly there was a different name, and it's a bit strange, right? So it's good to see him back and running, and as a team of 2, 50k.
Who's the other guy? Do you know?
I'm not sure if it was Jackie or it was someone else, but I think they might be the team to beat.
Welcome back, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Okay, so if someone wants to track the runners live, can they do it? If so, how? Do you know?
Yeah, like I said, the racematics.com website on the day will have a link to the live results, so you can click on the link. It will say live, and you can see you can search for your favorite runner. You can search for your team, and you can see where they are at which round, and obviously you can just come to the Aberdeen Country Park on Hong Kong Island.
Excellent. So we're gonna that's gonna be the great relay for this weekend in Hong Kong. So we're gonna start doing similar podcasts, right, for all other main races in Hong Kong as well. Yeah. Before we conclude the Great Relay, do you have anything to add, or you want to say something more about the Great Relay at all that we've missed, perhaps?
No, I think we covered it. I mean, it's a little bit of a new concept, so we'll see how it works out. I think one of the things I was thinking about when I was looking through all the teams is because they're a little bit limited in the amount of people they can get involved. Maybe there's a few too many different options of. A team of 2 men, women, and mixed. A team of 4 men, women, and mixed. It's maybe a bit too much for the amount of teams involved. It would be nicer to have a bit more competition in more relevant teams. It's like what we did in Lantau 70. The relay we changed it from different combinations just to only 4. So we have more teams that are competing with each other. So it will be interesting to see how the Great Relay will evolve over time, and I guess if they can get more people involved, then it makes sense to have so many options. But if this is the maximum amount of people that they are allowed to let run, then they might need to consider to do a little bit less.
Well, I'm also excited to see what the atmosphere is going to be like during the 1.5 hour downtime.
Yeah.
I want to go around talking to people.
Will they have a DJ?
I am the DJ. I can sing. It's my other hobby.
And will they have beer?
Goes without saying. All right, so this concludes our episode 19 of the Hong Kong Trail Rockers podcast. Just one last thing, though, is I want to plug in Lantau Basecamp.
Exactly. So, this is brought to you by Lantau Basecamp.
So if you want to go shop for your hiking shoes, your hiking gear, or anything else, go see Shane in Lantau Basecamp by the Muiwo bus stand.
Exactly, or you just go online, shop.lantaubasecamp.com.
This is the Hong Kong Trail Rockers podcast, episode 19. This is your host, Vin, signing off. Thanks. And thank you for tuning into this episode of the Hong Kong Trail Rockers podcast. If you've got any comments or questions, please write to vince@techotech.com. That's vince@techotech.com. You can also leave feedback or reviews or comments on the iTunes page or on the show notes of this particular episode. You can find that in hikeinhongkong.com. That's HIKEINHONGKONG.com. Until next Friday, have a good week. Thank you.